Now, in other news, lawmakers in Hong Kong have approved a controversial law making it a crime to say anything critical of the Chinese national anthem. This as people there mark the anniversary of the Tiananmen Square crackdown. The official vigil was banned for the first time because of COVID-19, but that hasn't stopped people gathering there. Oliver Farry is there for us in Hong Kong, where people have gathered to mark the anniversary. Oliver, what's the latest?
Well, the vigil has just started here in Victoria Park, and it is an illegal gathering this year, unlike the last 30 years it has been held. Even so, thousands of people have filed in, past the police. The police have had a fairly light presence here compared to much of the last year. They've decided to take a relatively easy touch on it. They're not dressed up in riot gear as they usually are at events like this. And even though the Tiananmen Massacre is being memorialised today, there is definitely a different tone to the celebration this year. We're hearing the familiar protest chants from the last 12 months, which weren't even conceived this time last year. So it's very much they are remembering the dead of the 4th of June 1989, but they're also asserting the protest's own message from the past 12 months.
And Oliver, I understand that people have been encouraged, those who aren't going out to the park or the square today, to light candles at home.
That's right. There are quite a lot of small localised gatherings that have the aim of getting around the social distancing restrictions, which mean you cannot have more than 8 people gathered at once. And even around here in the park, there are clearly several thousand here, but there are no people gathered in groups of more than 8, as far as I can see here. So it has been, people are being encouraged to go and memorialise in whatever way they can. And there are also 7 Catholic churches across Hong Kong who are holding their own vigil masses.
And Oliver, what about the legislation approved today? What can you tell us about that? What's its significance?
Well, it does have significance in the sense that for any more disrespect of the Chinese national anthem, March of the Volunteers, and this usually takes place at sporting events, people who are caught in infraction could face up to 3 years in prison. Over the last decade, March of the Volunteers has been regularly booed as international football matches, something that didn't happen until the time of the Umbrella Revolution in 2014. And since the protests last year, practically the entire stadium boos the national anthem now when it's played, such as the disrespect and the anger at Beijing. The Hong Kong government introduced this law last year, but it was put on the back burner because of the protests, and they're hoping to discourage whatever disrespect there might be for March of the Volunteers, but it remains to be seen just yet what effect that might have.
All right, thank you very much indeed for bringing us the latest. Oliver Farry joining us there from Hong Kong as people mark the anniversary of the Tiananmen Square crackdown. And now we've got a report